Yes, the program is still conversation on Oluyole FM 98.5 in the city of Ibadan. And yes, Tola, today is D-Day. Yes, Ekiti State. Yes, Ekiti State polls, governorship polls, and well, some issues are coming up. I see here before me, APC, ADC, PDP test strength in Ekiti governorship elections, and I know that I also see here drama at INEC as security agents eject PDP candidates. We get to see that in the course, and now most times security are provided by the police and some other security agencies, but now
and the military,
and now they are saying the Southwest Security Network, Amotekun, and vigilante groups have been barred from the election duty.
That's standard procedure. It's always like that. Each major election, the state security actors are not allowed to be part of the security apparatus, providing security coverage for the elections, and also vigilante groups. I think the reason being that maybe the authorities feel that they could be influenced by the powers that be, especially at the states and local levels, local government levels. So these are the reasons. That's not new. It's something like I said, it's standard for major elections.
Because I thought maybe these networks, the Amotekun and other vigilante groups, might be be put to use, to complement the efforts of the police and the army and other security organizations.
Well, ideally that's what it should be, but then we do things the way we do it, and I guess the INEC and other authorities conducting the elections would have their reasons. And we have armed personnel deployed to Kwara, Kogi, Osun, Ondo border communities, and 4 security personnel to man each of 2,445 polling units. And IGP is promising peaceful election, activates emergency response line. Usually the kind of troubles we have pre-election, they do not happen on election day, because the people who sponsor this crisis usually, talking about contemporary electoral processes in Nigeria, usually they are also they are interested in who becomes the governor or who becomes the president, senator, or whatever. So they don't want to disrupt the process. They actually want the elections to hold. What we could have at most, we could have pockets of ballot box snatching and pockets of skirmishes between hoodlums. But then where the electoral law now, where we record any significant skirmish, where that is reported and proven, the elections in that part of the state or wherever the elections are holding is cancelled outright. So the politicians know this, so as much as possible they wouldn't want a major occurrence, especially except what could also happen is that in areas that are not their strongholds, they could sponsor violence, so that the elections from the results from those places could be cancelled. That's another trick that they also play.
Yes.
But then I've seen more in recent times, Bimbo, a downplaying of electoral violence. I've seen less of electoral violence in recent times on election day. What happens now? The highest bidder, vote buying, and so far I don't think the authorities have been able to find a solution to that. I mean, a very sustainable solution to that, to the problem of vote buying. Of course, they do that in various ways, and while the government tries to or maybe the anti-graft agencies, while they try to nip any attempt in the bud, they come up with another ingenuity by which they can influence voters. So the most significant form of electoral malpractice in Nigeria today has to do with vote buying, trying to swing the mind of the electorate. Or the highest bidder try to swing the pendulum and the minds of the electorate
towards their candidates. And do you know that in the past vote buying, it had been a problem. Actual fact, I actually witnessed a scene. They go to voting units with cash, yes, cash, and they influence people. But nowadays, I don't know. That was why I said in the course of this program at the time that I don't know how this problem can be, tackled, because now it is not cash, it is transfers. Transfers.
And they have various ways of doing
Yes.
things. Bimbo.
Yes, even if it is cash, well, it might be a day before. They'll come to your houses, or they'll gather you people in some area at some point, and they'll distribute cash to you, and they will be monitoring you. Of course, they will be monitoring. Not that they will follow you to the ballot box arena where you vote, but they will still be monitoring you. So I don't know how that vote buying issue can be tackled.
Oh, pray for peaceful elections in Ekiti State today, and we urge the people of Ekiti, go out and cast your vote. Oh, Simbe Oniba will not shake me. Go out and cast your vote.
Yes.
Do not give the excuse that there's going to be violence, they are going to kill people and all that. Go out and vote. So you have no moral right to complain if you eventually the wrong person gets to the seat of power in your state.
Yes, and it might be your vote that will make a change. And yes, well, still talking Ekiti, there was a drama at the Ekiti State headquarters of the Independent National Electoral Commission in Ado-Ekiti last night, as security operatives ejected the PDP governorship candidates in today's off-cycle election, Wole Oluyole, from the commission's premises. Oluyole, accompanied by party officials and supporters, had gone there to lodge a complaint over alleged issuance of PDP agents' tags to individuals other than those nominated by his campaign organization. The PDP candidate was received by resident electoral commissioner Bumi Omoshidemi, and sources at the commission said Oluyole complained that the tags for PDP polling and collation agents were wrongly handed to the PDP action loyal to former Governor Ayodele Fayose, as against the individuals nominated by him, that is Oluyole. Fayose is rooting for Governor Biodun Oyebanji of the APC, and it was gathered that after listening to the complaints, the REC advised the PDP candidate to formally document his grievances and submit same through the appropriate channel to enable the commission to act on the matter. Oluyole was subsequently directed to another office close to the REC's office for action, and however, the situation took a dramatic turn when heavily armed security personnel marched and ordered the PDP candidate and members of his entourage to leave the premises. This sparked an argument between the PDP supporters and the security personnel. Looks like Oluyole has been
Yeah, you can read between the lines.
Yes.
Now, former Governor Ayodele Fayose is in PDP, carry member of the PDP, but he's routing for the return of the APC candidate who is the incumbent governor, Mr. Oyebanji.
Yes.
So, and then you find that very queer. Just as we consider to say that he's queer, that his master in Abuja, his current master
yes.
in Abuja, Mr. Yesombuke, who is also of the PDP, but of course, obviously, doing everything to make sure that the APC gains the upper hand over its own political party. So the same thing is happening in Ekiti. Now,
yes.
Interestingly and strangely, tags for agents that took over the post were given to those in Mr. Fayose's faction, and I wonder. I don't know when the tags were distributed, but then that complaint a day to election a bit too late, if you ask me.
Yes.
But then it depends on when the tags were distributed. So when he would have the opportunity to lodge his complaints, and didn't he know that? At least they must have submitted the names of their own agents. So it's strange how those tags eventually got to the wrong people, according to the PDP candidates in that state. So now he came to see the REC. He did what he was supposed to do, and the rec told him what to do and what action to take, and was directed to another office only for armed security personnel
To bundle him
come
out.
and bundle to him and ask him to leave. So something definitely must have happened. Maybe either the rec informed certain quarters of his presence in that place, or some people got to know in certain quarters that he was there and they felt uncomfortable with his presence, and then of course the order was given that he should be asked to leave. And so I do not know, Bimbo, and then this is not good. It doesn't look good.
Yes,
Doesn't look good at all.
there's a kind of anti-panky here, because he must have submitted the names of
course.
those that will have the tags for the elections, and well, it is I think on instructions. Beg your pardon.
So it
Yes,
looks like those maybe Mr. Fayose himself, I don't know how deeply involved he is in that what unfolded yesterday at the INEC office in Ekiti, but it looks to me like even the more powerful faction in the Ekiti PDP wants to help that party to lose the election, from what we are reading here. Like I said, I don't know if it's Mr. Fayose himself, but definitely it must have been some interest. Why did they ask him to leave and not follow up on his complaints? And I think it's a bit too late to change anything now, but we'll see how things unfold. All right, on terrorism, well, court sentences mother, sister of killed terrorist kingpin Batujo to 40 years imprisonment. Okay, that's also for their involvement and complicity in the activities of their now departed criminal loved one. Okay, the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja on Friday sentenced 2 women to 40 years imprisonment for their involvement in terrorism. The convicts, Safia Saliu and Alima Abdullahi, are mother and sister respectively of a terrorist kingpin, Kachala Ibrahim Batujo, who was killed by security forces on June 10, 2026 in a forest near Iluke in Kababunu local government area of Kogi State. Justice Howard Joseph Iyowa handed the sentences after both women pleaded guilty to counts 2, 4 and 5 of the 5-count terrorism related charge brought against them by the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation. Both women escaped conviction on counts 1 and 3, which bordered on receiving 490,300 naira from Batujo, fully aware it was proceeds of terrorism, as well as their sponsored only pilgrimage with the proceeds of terrorism. Director of Public Prosecution Oyedepo Rotimi SAN urged the court to strike out both counts but convict them on the others. Now, according to count 2, both women aided and abetted the activities of Batujo, a known bandit kingpin, and passed information through telephone conversations to the said Batujo, and thereby committed an offense contrary to and punishable under Section 26 of the Terrorism Prevention Prohibition Act 2022. And in addition to pleading guilty to count 2, Batujo's mom pleaded guilty to count 5, which bordered on concealment of information on the terrorism activities of her son. On her part, Alima, who is a sister of the killed terrorist kingpin, in addition to pleading guilty to count 2, also pleaded guilty to count 4, which also bordered on concealment of information that her brother illegally acquired firearms which he saw when she visited his forest camp. Now, I took the pains to read this story comprehensively so that listeners and members of the public will know why they were convicted and sentenced. Because naturally one may be wonder, okay, what is their sin? That are they the ones that put their husband and brother up to the things they did in his lifetime? But then like I said, I took the pains to read all this so that you know why they were convicted. But one interesting thing that I always wonder, these people that the late Batujo and others like him that behave as if they have no blood running in their veins. Sometimes I get puzzled that they actually have wives and they actually have children that they love and they don't want anything to happen to them, but they think the best thing is to kill the wives and children and husbands of others for no reason, for no just cause. Most of their killings are extremely senseless. If you ask me, it's like they kill for sport. And even animals, bimbo, sometimes we call them animals, but then I think it's also a way of dignifying them if we call them animals. I don't know what else we can call them that can be worse than calling them animals, because for animals, animals will kill either because they are hungry, either because they feel threatened, and they will attack you if they feel threatened, and they kill for food and other. Animals do not kill for no reason, but it is humans that kill for no reason. So just me thinking aloud here, and a good one. At least we are getting somewhere. At least they are not saying that they want to rehabilitate them or integrate them back into society. Maybe if Batuji had been captured alive, maybe that's what would have happened. They would have said they want to make him an emir or a king somewhere, so that he will stop being a problem. But thank God he was neutralized, and at least that's -1.
-1 in many, -1 in a lot.
Well, it's something very significant. If they're able to neutralize someone like him, and I pray that more would come.
Well, talking about the Oluyole now again, Boko Haram terrorists who abducted pupils and teachers from 3 schools. It is a kind of write-up here in the Punch. 3 schools in Oluyole local government area of Oyo State have been trapped inside the Oyo National Park 36 days after the May 15 attacks. It was glance. That is according to the Punch. But this is not the first time we've been hearing about that. They have been, entrapped and encircled. It was gathered that the terrorists, who are members of Jama'atu Ali-Sunnah Leader Awati Wal Jihad, which is the formal name of Boko Haram, have intensified efforts to frustrate the rescue operation by planting improvised explosive devices and frequently changing locations within the forest. And sources familiar with the operation disclosed that the terrorists have also orchestrated attacks in other parts of the country as a deliberate strategy to divert attention and stretch security resources deployed for the rescue of the abducted pupils and teachers. And well, Saturday Punch learned that despite mounting pressure from troops and other security operatives deployed in the forest, the terrorists have continued to fiercely resist rescue efforts, with the operation already claiming the lives of some soldiers. The pupils and teachers were abducted on May 15 from Baptist Nursery and Primary School, Yawata Early Primary School and Community Grammar School, Esiele, and no fewer than 42 pupils and teachers, including a principal, were taken during the attacks. And
I don't quite get it. Is it those same people holding the Oluyole hostages that have been launching attacks elsewhere in the country?
I don't think it is these people. It should have been another. Okay, you are talking about the Jama'atu.
You heard something about some people launching attacks elsewhere in the country to divert attention.
Yes. They said they have orchestrated attacks in other parts of the country. That group I mentioned, I think they have links.
Okay. It's that particular group that is operating now in Oluyole, holding hostages in Oluyole.
Yes.
Okay, now I get it. One thing, first of all, whatever supplies they brought with them for the purpose of feeding their hostages, especially talking about them feeding now, and of course they must have probably they never realized and they didn't prepare, that they didn't know that it was going to take this long. They were just going to collect ransom and then release the hostages and leave. So whatever supplies they brought with them by now must have run out, or is failing and fast running out. So I guess as part of the negotiations, the option of negotiation, the option of lethal force, I guess both are being considered. And I guess for the negotiations, I guess part of the negotiation must be that okay, maybe the government knows where they are, the security agents know where they are.
Yes.
So, but then since they have encircled them, so part of the agreement will probably be that they should be allowing food supplies to come in, both for themselves and for the hostages they are holding. And I believe that will be obliged them, because of course the government would not want the hostages to starve to death due for the security agencies.
Yes.
But as for making it difficult, I mean, the abductors themselves making it difficult for the security agents to swap on them. You mentioned something about IEDs.
Yes.
And I think this is where technology should come in. We have what we call bomb disposal units that can actually defuse those bombs. First of all, if you are going to defuse IEDs, you have to know where they are.
Yes.
You have to know the location. You have to know where they are planted. Probably planted under the ground.
Under the ground, yes, just like landmines.
So that's where technology comes in. So I don't know if any effort is being made, or if we have that kind of technology or not, or if effort is being made to have that technology that would locate where the various places that they have planted this IED, so that they can be diffused. And I do not know if the terrorists themselves have that technical capacity to know each time the security agents come near, so that
of course you know that they will know. They will know. They will definitely know. They know how they monitor. They know. That is why they move from one spot to another spot.
Then there must be technology that could counter that kind of technology if they have it right there in the front. I mean, if terrorists have that kind of technology to let them know, to let them see the stealth movement of the troops if they are trying to advance on them.
Yes.
So, well, now we are getting a clearer picture as to why the rescue of the hostages has been delayed, and as to why the government has to proceed with caution. But then we can only continue to pray, Bimbo.
Yes. And meanwhile, they are still they are reportedly, demanding the release of 2 of their commanders in exchange for the abducted pupils and teachers. And the terror commanders are Mahmoud Usman, also known as Abu Bara or Abbas Mukhtar, and his deputy Abubakar Abba, also known as Issa Adam or Mahmoud Al-Negeri, also known as Malam Mahmouda. And however, the government has maintained that it will not negotiate with the terrorists and has vowed to rescue the abducted pupils and teachers.
Which of the governments is saying that it will not negotiate, federal or state?
It is not clear here, because I know that the negotiations is the main, the main deal on the part of the federal government. There's some state governments, so I don't know which government is saying it will not. Maybe the federal government, the state government. I'm not so clear about this because it is not stated here.
But one thing I do know is that the release of those terrorist commanders would not be within the purview of the states. That they are being held by the federal authorities, and I don't think the federal authorities would be so much in a hurry to release them. They would be reluctant to do that, because releasing them would mean a significant loss in the war against terror. But then if releasing them, if that is the only option open, well, my personal opinion here, I think if you release them, that doesn't mean they would go off the radar of the DSS or the National Intelligence Agency. That doesn't mean they would go off the radar of the intelligence agencies. They can always be apprehended again. And this time around, like I said yesterday, I don't know, maybe it will require a tinkering with our constitution to set up a kind of court that will be totally devoted to matters such as this terrorism, so that their trial will be speedy. If you are going to sentence them to death, and so be it, sentence them to death and then ensure their speedy execution, so as to avoid future scenarios like this. Like I said, if they release them and for the sake of to save the lives of those hostages, yes, but then they can't get very far if we are serious before they are apprehended again, and definitely they won't be making their way out of the country unless, of course, there is compromise on the part of the authorities and the security agencies. The tabs will be on them. Like I said, they cannot go off the radar. So if that is the only option left to save the lives of these people, they are staying too long in that forest. So yes, is the only option left. Well, my own opinion here, me thinking as a layman and as an ordinary citizen, maybe their request should be granted. Like I said, if that is the only option left. if all possibilities have been explored, and that is the only option left. Thank God they have debunked the other very difficult demands that people said they were making, the Sharia law and being given weapons and all that. They said that is not what they want.
And they demanded 1 billion naira or so. Well,
even if they demanded 1 billion, is nothing to politicians. We just want politicians. It is a weapon to just one of the nation's
politicians or leaders,
averagely successful politicians. It's nothing to them. So how much more the government?
Yes. But what we are just saying here is that let the government please just do the needful quickly. I don't know what situation those abductees will be in now. They have been going through a lot of trauma right now as we speak, and I don't know I don't know how government can do. Like Tola said, that if that is the only option, well, so be it.
I don't believe that narrative that that they are not going to negotiate, and that the option of negotiation is not being explored. Of course, they wouldn't have gotten this far. Even wouldn't be even know their demands now if they had not been negotiating. So I believe that because negotiations are ongoing, of course, for security reasons, as Governor Shemakide would always say that we don't want to disclose the details. It's because negotiations are ongoing. That is why they have not killed another hostage.
Yes.
Because they are talking.
Yes.
If they have not been talking, these people.
There's that possibility. They would have killed another hostage. Well, former vice president and presidential candidate of the ADC, that is talking about not that it was former is it interim? No, it's not interim. Alhaji Abdul Salami, General Abdul Salami Abubakar.
Oh, he was president.
President, yes.
He was military president to fill that gap between when General Abacha died and then the conduct of the elections. Yes. Has brought in Chief Olusegun Obasanjo.
Yes, he has deplored the politicization of security matters in Nigeria and urged Nigerians to unite against insecurity. And in a statement marking his 84th birthday, Abdul Salami expressed concern over the country's worsening security situation, stressing that every Nigerian has a role to play in restoring peace and stability, and while observing that those behind the insecurity in Nigeria do not recognize ethnicity, religion, political party, communal life, or other forms of identity, he added that propaganda for political and other selfish gains is also giving oxygen to terrorist group. I agree with that point. Yes.
Me too.
Yes, I agree with that point. Yeah.
And okay, on the NIPSS attack, Nigerian Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, President Tinubu strengthened security at strategic institutions nationwide. You shouldn't take the NIPPS attack to strengthen security at strategic institutions. Like I said, we recalled what happened the other time, especially that when it's election time, you begin to have this kind of attacks on key national institutions. So, and the NIPSS participants, as we were saying, we were traumatized, rattled, and they should be. I can imagine how worried their families would be.
Yes.
And would have been at the time of the attack, and would still be even as we speak. Well, a good one. It should strengthen security at strategic institutions nationwide. And UN envoy says insecurity, impunity threatening fundamental rights in Nigeria.
And this one also says a federal high court in Abuja on Friday sentenced Safia Saliu and Alima Abdullahi, the mother and sister of slain terrorist kingpin Ibrahim Batujo, to 40 years imprisonment each for aiding his terrorist operations.
Okay, we already took that.
Okay, yes, sir. Well, Book of Matrimonial Oddities.
Quickly, before we go to the Book of Matrimonial Oddities, this crime and human angle story, and sounds bizarre. I was avenging death of my parents' brother, says Cross River serial killer. So, yes, you are pained by the death of your parents and your brother, but why should that turn you into a serial killer? Let's quickly see. Bingo. Recently, there were reports of an increase in the number of violent killings and unnatural deaths in the Odukpani local government area of Cross River State. Now, detectives from the State Police Command have, however, traced the killings to 49-year-old Ignatius Akoniyene, who claimed to be avenging the deaths of his parents and brother who died over 25 years ago. Until his arrest, the suspect had become a thorn in the flesh of residents of the Riverland community of Abayama in the Creek Town area of Odukpani local government, where 2 elders were killed within 2 days. And well, the story goes on and on. I can't see the link between the death of his parents and brother and him becoming a serial killer. Okay, it says it all started when he was still very young, and he started with a fight between his late father and one of his brothers, Kokoite. And it's a very long narration, but then the police have caught up with him now, and he should explain further whatever influenced him to become a serial killer.
And this sad one here, rather sad one, talking about a guy here, his sibling, the student, the graduate of from Laduke Akintola University of Technology. She has let people know, Nigerians know, that her brother struggled to gain admission into the Laduke Akintola University, but died barely 24 hours after his convocation.
Sad.
Yes, it is kind of an interview session. Yeah.
And should, in case you come across a Nigerian police officer, maybe on the road or elsewhere, and he appears irate and he appears unreasonable, and especially if he's carrying a gun, please, for God's sake, do not argue. Just keep your calm.
Yes.
Just keep your
anything he says, just do.
And the reason it says here, more than half of Nigerian police personnel are highly stressed. That's according to researchers. A team of the team leader of a research project addressing occupational stress and mental health among police officers in Nigeria, Professor Ademola Ajuwon. He said that interviews conducted in 4 states across the country indicated that more than half of officers in Nigeria police are highly stressed. So if you encounter that kind of police officer who is irate and somewhat sounds unreasonable, you must remember this, that it could be one of those that are highly stressed. So you must begin to understand why he's acting or behaving the way he should. So just keep your calm.
Yes.
At least your life matters. Especially if the man is carrying a gun.
Yes, highly stressed. I understand that, because it once happened to me. I hope you remember
that incident. And Boro would have been history, but thank God that Boro is still right here with me, sitting in the studio. It was providence. Your angel was very much awake that night.
Yes, very much.
That bullet missed you by the discuss. He aimed at your head, Bimbo.
Yes.
And you didn't argue with him.
I did not argue. He asked me to bring my particulars, and I was going to bring my particulars, and he said, "You must be an armed robber. Stop there. If you move, I will shoot."
And he shot.
And he shot.
But luckily, he missed. All right. To the book of matrimonial oddities now, very quickly. My wife accused me of using charms to steal her fortune during sex. Well, she must have seen. Maybe she must have seen you do some things on your part.
Fortune. That is a ugo.
During sex. Then we also have my husband started fighting me 6 months after our marriage because I was not pregnant, says wife, and I agreed to divorce. For 6 months. And my husband traveled, abandoned me. I want divorce. It seems majorly about women lodging complaints about their husbands this weekend. And this one is coming from a husband. My wife's grandma did not allow her to return to my house, says husband. And he refused to kill ram when my granddaughter put to bed, says grandmother. That was why the grandmother plucked the granddaughter away from our matrimonial home because he refused to kill a ram when the granddaughter put to bed. And then my husband brought her lovers home, slept with them on a matrimonial bed. That's a complaint coming from another wife. But let's open the phone lines.
070-5555-1985 or 080-5500-9850. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Oh, please do well to call us back, and we can't hear you.
Hello, good morning.
070-5555-1985. That's the number to call for part of conversation this morning. Okay, there is another a columnist here, Sam on Saturday, that's Sam Woko, and his column here saying go out and vote Ekiti.
Yes, like you said earlier. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Tolan Kadimbo.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Abayo Fabumi. I speak from Oluyole.
Good to have you, sir.
I just want to comment on the attitude of Governor Makinde. You will say, this man thinks he's going, and that is what is not bothered about those people that have been kidnapped. He was saying at the last time that he does not have control of the military and the police. That is not true. Many of these governors have been using the military and the police, which quite well known to me, even in this Osun state. Now, why can't you give the order to the military and the policemen? Let them refuse and do what we know. Why can't you go to Abuja, go to the president, release those people that people are demanding that you be released, and do your own bit, and leave the rest to Nigerians? Why are those people are going to be kept in this place indefinitely? It's unfortunate. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Abraham Fabumi. But you and I don't actually know if Governor Makinde has actually done all you have said, and if it were that easy for the governors to have control of the security agencies, the police and the military especially, the problem we have in the north will not last this long. Mr. Abraham Fabumi, I guess you must acknowledge that. So it's the same problem, I guess, that requires that tinkering with our constitution, perhaps while we are all clamoring for state police. And like I said, I don't want to believe that Governor Makinde would sit back and fold his arms. The fact that he's not talking doesn't mean that he's not doing anything. I guess he must have done all that which you have said, but then like he always says, he says he has to be prudent with divulging information so as not to compromise the rescue efforts.
Yes. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good to have you, Mr. Adebayo.
God bless you, sir. Happy weekend. I think the difference between man and animal is the ability of man to think about the past, ruminate on the present, and think about what is going to happen in the nearest future.
Choices.
Hello, sir.
We are with you, Mr. Adebayo.
Now, we have when people like myself say here several times that we don't have a government. It's not like say we don't have to manage the affairs of this country, but they lack vision. The next thing to do, the moment you see a person who is not able to think about the past, present, and the future, such a person can be labeled and better. That's what I'm saying. Now, somebody will be killed today by the armed robbers, by the bandits, by the insurgents. Then you will go there, and go back to your office. to empty what's going to happen next. Eh? Fún Adékí Ajá nígbà wọn di ilé kíkà wọ́n ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ lọ fọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ pamọ́. Nígbà Tinubu náà tó wí expecting to go and expecting the do this and this after all those people have been built and that to get down it could just go like that. It's not as my personal against president. But the way they are working is not Tinubu should have come 12 or 13 century. The way he's thinking and acting. Good morning, sir.
Thank you very much.
That was harsh.
Very harsh, yes, very harsh.
So, like I always say, your opinion, Mr. Kobi Adebayo.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's not that, in as much as I don't like the approach of the state government and the approach of the federal government on insecurity in this country, but it's not as if they are not doing anything on this issue, on kidnapping issue. I know if they have a choice, they would go out, they would have been there and they pick up those children. But at the things we have now, things are difficult to do. The reason being that these terrorists, whenever they are in these positions to negotiate, they disturb the government so much that the government does not know what to do again. They make what do they call this thing? Their demands. And when you want to meet their demand, they change it again. That is what they do. Because they don't want to get caught. That is just it. Because they know if now they said at that time for money should be deposited in a bank in a public and all that. Later they say don't do that again. They want to change the agents. They said they want the money in dollars. They said don't do that again. They are always trying to manipulate the government because they don't want to get caught. They know how dangerous what they are putting their hands into. So that is how terrorists are making this thing difficult for government to do. Because government has not been proactive. That has been the case. If the government has been proactive, they won't find themselves in this situation. And the situation is that there are kids involved in this thing. So they have to try to friendly stop it. That's just it. So it's not that they are not doing anything. In as much as I don't like them, I don't like government, whether it's local, state or federal, because they have not been proactive. But terrorists is making it difficult for them. So that's just it.
Thank you very much.
Well, if I say you don't like government, Mr. Jide from Ikolaba, well, I don't know if you actually vote or you voted in the last elections.
Yes.
So I don't know whether the person you voted for actually came to power. But I don't know, maybe due to non-performance by your own assessment, that's why you don't like them now. Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Hello, Mr. Afola, Mr. Bimbo.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Azam Ifabu is back again.
Okay, good to have you, sir.
Now, Mr. Atola, I can understand what you have just said. That maybe the government is doing so much, but I don't buy into that idea. Now, look at it. The governor made a visit to the former minister in his house on a condolence visit, and he said the sister will be released, and not quite long, about 2 days. The sister was released. How did the government know where the sister was being kept? Why was it after he made a visit to the brother? That was when the sister was released. Something is really wrong somewhere. They are playing politics with this matter, including everybody that is involved, all the government in both state and federal level. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, I agree with you. We've had reports and allegations of conspiracy theories about politics being involved in the matter of the ordinary hostages. But then you must also admit that the scenario, as hard as it is to admit that the scenario is quite different. For the Chief Adelabu's sister, the element of surprise was there. The kidnappers did not know that they were coming. But in this very scenario now, at any point in time, at least as we speak, the abductors would still know. They have their tabs on the security agencies operating in that area. That's why I mentioned that don't we have technology that could supersede theirs? If they try to storm the place, the abductors would know that they are coming. And you see what they said about IEDs being planted.
Yes.
So I think the circumstances are quite different.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, sir.
Good morning. Okay, good to have you, sir.
Jesus said, how many of you will be sick all if you well on Sunday, and we say on Monday I will come and rescue you? Let's think about this. It is taken to its being too drag. 36 days ago. It's too much. Look at the minors that are involved. The trauma, like Mr. Bimbo said, they must have been passed through. So you should have done something, either diplomatically or whatever, to free these people. All these things. That's the reason why Mr. Pabum is saying that. God bless you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. Well, you wears the crown.
Yes, and uneasy lies the head. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'll check on Check.
Oh, good to have you.
Please understand me. Thank for all your people are there. Please, I want to comment on the issue of the security of the people that are kidnapped at radio.
Okay.
Now, please, I want to do something. Now, these people are the training signals. They are the color. Look at the 5 boy guys that they killed so that they go. So why is it that government didn't target children in that place? So we have something that the government trying. Why is it the government is the chief security officer of the state? If this security challenges here and there, and they have not been making effort to do that. Even on the way to Jebu, that around that cave, that place has been the death of kidnapper for the past 8 years, and the government didn't do anything about this. So we should not say that I don't look. I'm not saying that the government is not trying, but we have the nuclear attitude. We don't get be ready to share it to go see that. So I think these children are going in the bush. But the past more than 4 weeks. And I think that they have no power to do that.
Thank you very much.
I
Thank you very much.
think I think I put
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So sorry, we are pressed for time, and then
Yes,
we have to go.
And you talked about the Idianunya area. Yes, that it has been den of kidnappers for the past 10 years. But maybe you have known all along. Maybe people have known all along, but they are not saying anything to the authorities. It is not government that will know. It is the people around that area.
But there's really a collaborative effort between the Ogun State government and the Oyo State government, and it covers that axis, a security collaboration that covers that axis. So it's not as if the government is not doing anything. All right, we have to go, and we'll be back same time Monday morning, God willing. My name is Tola Teriba.
And my name is Bimbo Akombi. Thank you very much for listening. Enjoy your weekend.
Conversation.